And Rachel Zegler, being 23 or whatever she is, like so many kids raised on TikTok, she's all for infantada is the only global solution. So the two stars hate each other. And then they couldn't put dwarfs because this is just so typical of the left. The progressives always finding a way to find their way back to doing something not progressive. You'd think the most progressive thing would be get people jobs, and dwarfs want to.
And it's lonely. It's very lonely. I just know that if that loneliness can exist, so can other things, and I will be.
Just when we thought wokeness might finally be losing steam, Rachel Zegler, the lead in Disney's Snow White remake, yanks us right back into the chaos. Apparently, just acting isn't enough anymore. Every press interview now needs to come with a TED Talk on why everything made before 2016 is offensive. And you know Bill Maher, when he smells performative wokeness, he doesn't just roll his eyes, he nukes it. This time, Maher set his sights on Zegler's Snow White, a film that's gone from a classic fairy tale to a PR nightmare. From Rachel's bizarre press tour soundbites to the unnecessary political soapboxing baked into the project, it's become the epicenter of woke fatigue. Maher's takedown? Brutal, timely, and exactly what we needed. So let's dive straight into this dumpster fire and unpack what really happened.
23 or whatever she is, like so many kids raised on TikTok, she's all for infantada is the only global solution. So the two stars hate each other.
Before we roll the clip, let me give you the quick lowdown, especially if you're as confused as some of Maher's guests. Rachel Zegler stars as Snow White and Gal Gadot plays the evil queen. Simple enough, right? Well, not exactly. Just before the movie's release, Zegler stirred up a storm online with some wildly tone-deaf comments during press interviews. What followed was pure chaos. Her remarks didn't just spark outrage. They dragged her co-star Gal Gadot into the mess and forced Disney into full-on damage control mode. Then, when Zegler was asked about the controversy, she doubled down instead of dialing it back. And that, my friends, is the powder keg behind the clip we just watched. Now let's get back to Maher's razor-sharp takedown of this debacle, because he did not hold back.
They couldn't put dwarfs because this is just so typical of the left. The progressives always finding a way to find their way back to doing something not progressive. You'd think the most progressive thing would be get people jobs, and dwarfs want to work.
And honest golden employment opportunity for dwarves.
There's not that many scripts that come down the pike.
No, only 7 of them.
That has, and there's 7 dwarf jobs here. But because I think it was Peter Dinklage said this is, this is not right.
Guys, because this next part is where the irony hits peak levels. Maybe it's time the woke left just drops the progressive branding altogether and rebrands as retrogressive, because what they're doing sure feels like we're moving backwards, not forward. Seriously, Snow White used to be a timeless fairy tale we all enjoyed as kids. But now, it's turned into a lecture series on modern morality, and with zero charm left. Instead of casting real actors with dwarfism, Disney decided CGI was more sensitive. Really? That's their solution? Not only does it erase authentic representation, but it also strips away rare job opportunities for actors who are already marginalized in Hollywood. But hey, Disney still gets to pat itself on the back for inclusion. Right? It's like solving a problem that never existed by creating a whole new one. And just when you think it couldn't get any more absurd, enter Rachel Zegler, with a cringeworthy take on wokeness that might just make your eyes roll into another dimension. In
Snow White?
Yeah, Snow White is the girl you remember, but she's definitely made for the modern age, and there's such an emphasis on what it really means to be the fairest of them all. And for Snow White, it's coming to terms with finding herself and finding her inner voice and finding a sense of agency so that she can be a just ruler and a wonderful queen. because there's another one.
Hey guys, did you hear that sarcasm dripping from Rachel Zegler's voice? That wasn't just attitude, it was aimed squarely at Gal Gadot. To Zegler, Gal represents the old guard, something that needs tearing down to make room for her brand of progress. And of course, Zegler sees herself leading that charge, but here's the catch. This woke crowd doesn't just want change, they want control. If you don't fall in line, you're not just wrong, you're the enemy. And Rachel? She's just the latest mouthpiece pushing that tired agenda.
37, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird. We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie. Right. Andrew Burnap, great dude. All of Andrew's scenes.
Warned you, and here we are, neck deep in another woke meltdown. Snow White was once a fairy tale, now it's a political manifesto. Thanks to Rachel Zegler, the prince is labeled a stalker, love is oppression, and classic storytelling is replaced with lectures. And Zegler, she's not new to this. After Trump's win, she tweeted a dramatic meltdown, wishing Trump voters never know peace. Real tolerant, right? This isn't activism, it's hysteria in a costume. And now Snow White is tanking hard, just $96 million on a $270 million budget. When you replace heart with woke preaching, don't be surprised when no one shows up.
Rachel Zegler and Snow White, because there is an update in that story today. There was an in-depth piece, like a behind-the-scenes piece. Was it Variety? Talking about how they've been in a full meltdown about this girl for a couple of years now.
Rachel Zegler has become Disney's ultimate liability, a walking PR disaster they just can't shake. At this point, they might as well rename it Woke White and the 7 box office flops. Instead of magic, we got a social justice sermon nobody asked for, and audiences responded with a loud no thanks. Now Disney's stuck with an actress who alienates fans, a movie no one wanted, and a financial nightmare on its hands. And guess what? Someone must have realized the damage because suddenly Zegler pops up with a half-hearted apology. Let's roll that cringe-filled clip.
It's lonely. It's very lonely. I just know that if that loneliness can exist, so can other things, and I will be okay.
If there's one thing the woke crowd loves more than preaching, it's cash. So of course, Rachel Zegler drops a fake apology the second backlash hits the bottom line. But let's be real. She's not sorry, and neither is Disney. They're just mad they got caught. There's no self-awareness, no course correction, just smug delusion behind the scenes. And unless Disney wakes up, bankruptcy might be the only thing that finally breaks their woke fever. Audiences are tired of being lectured. We want stories, not sermons. If you're with us, hit that like button and subscribe for more truth bombs. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.